B-side KK, a dangerous and active gang member in the UK who stabbed a rival multiple times in the face and goes on to take an innocent life as he flees the country straight to Jamaica. Before we get into the video, I just want to say that this video is not to glorify crime in any sort of way, but to provide information on individuals that are part of the UK drill scene. Everything stated in this video is already public information and can be found on forums, articles and multiple news reports. So with all this being said, let's get straight into the video. In the area of South London, you have the small gang B-side, based around Bellingham in the postcode SE6, and stretches over Pascal estate where a gang called PGM used to be located. B-side, who back in the days used to go as Catford Wildcats, are considered one of the most dangerous gangs in South London, despite being a small gang. This is the gang that the main person of this video, Stewart, also known as KK, would represent. The gang would have beef with nearby gangs SG, Monson and Zone 2, but the most well-known beef is with a gang called M20, based in Penge in the SE20 postcode. Before I touch on the backstory behind KK and everything he's done, I'll quickly look back at the B-side gang and how a gang so small would house musically talented but violent and bloodthirsty individuals with no care for human life. B-side were one of the first groups to jump on drill music in the UK when it was on the rise, and around 2016 a member called 30 would release a tune called Where They're Hiding, which really put the gang on the scene and boosted their numbers for future tracks. B-side wouldn't really publicise and brag about their violence as much as other gangs, but they were still involved in multiple stabbings of their rivals and had members who, in my opinion, have serious mental health issues just based on the things they've done. The most unhinged and psychotic of these members is the person of this video, KK from B-side, who himself stated, "You see, KK was a very troubled individual from a young age and would be in trouble with the law since the age of 14. Along with constantly being excluded from school. He would go on to become a younger member of B-side, and not just a member, but one of their most active and violent members." In the tune previously mentioned, Where They're Hiding, Faye will go on to say, "Little D, KK and RZ will stab man up for no reason." You see, KK has allegedly stabbed up to 15 rival members, to the point whenever you heard about a B-side stabbing, KK would be involved in some way. 16-year-old KK around these times will constantly roll around the state looking for ops, and would even go on to rob the ped of another gang member called Younger Major, as he and the gang would ride around on his ped mocking a dead SG rival called YB.
Hey, can we roll some Nassim? We need to build some Nassim! We need to build some Nassim! We need to build some Nassim now!
On the 26th of September 2015, YB, part of the SG gang, and a friend called Gary Brown will be riding around in a Corsa on Turnham Road, an area where a gang called AR are based who are affiliated with B-side. AR members and some B-side youngers will spot the car with YB inside and start throwing bricks and stones at the whip. In an attempt to get away from the attackers, Gary Brown will step on the gas and go straight into a pole. YB, who was in the passenger seat, was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Gary Brown survived but was later arrested and charged for killing his best friend in the crash and got slapped with 9 years. The people who threw the stones and bricks were never arrested or charged. It's alleged in the drill scene that one of the B-side youngers who attacked YB was KK, but this is just allegations and rumours that hold no weight. But B-side members were apparently involved, and looking at KK's history, I won't be surprised. KK will continue being a nuisance and an active member of the gang, and around late 2016, he'll spot an M20 member called Taze patrolling the Bellingham area. KK and others would chase down Taze as he left his car and car keys at the scene. KK will take the car keys and will go on to rap about the situation in the song Stop Talking, where he says, if Taze pulls up in a ride, he's going to think about the last time we saw him. Followed up with, I got the car keys last time I caught him. He also goes on to show the car keys in a separate music video. These are some of the more lighter and petty things that KK has done, because as time goes on, he starts releasing more music, but at the same time, he becomes a lot more violent. And I'll just go through some of the things he's done before getting slapped with a life sentence later on. Before I begin, I just want to clarify that some of the things are alleged because no one has been arrested for some of the things I talk about. And these are just well-known information in the UK drill scene, but hold no concrete proof or legal court hearings. Around late 2016, KK would allegedly go on to stab a Zone 2 hit squad member called PS at a shopping centre in Lewisham. He would stab PS in the back with a machete, and the machete ends up getting stuck in PS's back, which is probably the only reason why PS didn't die from the situation. Police would rush to the area as eyewitnesses reported seeing pools of blood around the mall in Molesworth Street. PS would be rushed to an East London hospital where he later recovered from his injuries. KK, not being at peace with his mind, would go on to allegedly stab multiple rival members, with one of these people being an M20 member called Charms. It's rumoured KK had previously stabbed Charms on a different occasion, but on this particular day he didn't hold back. KK would go on to stab Charms multiple times in the head and scalp, with stab wounds all over his head. There's a picture of the aftermath which I can't show on YouTube for obvious reasons, but Charms is covered with blood with stab wounds all over his scalp. It's clear from these situations that KK has no problem resorting to violence, even stating himself in a tune, "Man bring a problem, man get it sorted." And again, the fact that demons F with his conscience. Fast forward to the 24th of February 2017, a music producer called Dean Pascal was travelling to Grove Park in Lewisham to shoot a music video for a friend. KK and his cousin Nino, along with several other B-side members, would spot Dean and his friend as they patrolled the area. One of the B-side members would pull out a gun on the pair and they would run away. Several other B-side members would chase them down the road as Dean and his friend split up. Dean was hunted down and surrounded, and the gang proceeds to stab him. Dean was stabbed a total of 14 times, with one of these attackers being KK, who allegedly was carrying a knife with him. The attack was so brutal that it punctured Dean's lung, separating his ribcage, as he was left to die in a pool of his own blood. Dean was not involved in the gang beef by any means, with the only motive being that he was cool with M20 and SG members, seeing as he is a music producer and that is part of his job. A massive investigation was launched on the murder of Dean Pascal. KK, knowing he was being investigated, would flee to Jamaica in an attempt to evade arrest. Another B-side member called Jalta Williamson will also flee the country to the US where he was originally born. Forensic studies of knives found in a nearby garden will come back with two names, and on November 2017, B-side members Corey Donaldson and Alex Scott will get handed a life sentence with a minimum term of 18 years for the murder of Dean Pascal. The crazy thing is that during the trial, the teens will be laughing and joking in the dock whilst the jury weren't present. The reason I brought this up is to show you guys how much these lunatics really care about taking an innocent life. The other two people the police were now after was KK and his cousin Nino, who were also involved in the murder of Dean. KK, who had fled to Jamaica, would attempt to come back to the UK for whatever reason, but was arrested at Gatwick Airport. Lyrics from both KK and Nino's music videos will be used as evidence, along with CCTV footage and other forensic reports. However, more evidence was found on Nino than on KK, which is when rumours of Nino snitching on his cousin came through. You see, the prosecution were gunning for a 30-year sentence because of how brutal the murder was and the fact it was in broad daylight as kids were getting picked up from school. Nino would allegedly snitch on KK and others to get a lighter sentence. On the 17th of May 2018, KK was slapped with a life sentence with a minimum term of 17 years, and Nino will also get a life sentence with a minimum term of 20 years. Dean Pascal was another innocent man unfortunately killed in a gang war that he was not involved in. Rest in peace, Dean, and our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends.
Weed and liquor in a part of my life, but it might be tonight if you're feeling my vibe. One zoom, two shots, got me feeling nice, and someone to the shots, fuck a boss and give an eye.
KK, who was 17 when he got sentenced, will come out at the age of 34. However, whilst in prison, his violent nature won't stop there, because he will go on to attack a well-known CGM member, Digger D, with a screwdriver whilst locked up. KK really lives by the name Killer Kai, and I don't think he has any interest in changing his life for the better. He's regarded as one of the most active gang members in the scene, and in being so, he's thrown away his life as he now sits in jail watching his teenage years go by. Like I say in every outro, if you take anything from this video, let it be that the gang life is truly not something you want to be involved in. You got family and friends that fully care for you, so stay smart and let me know in the comments if I missed anything. I'll see you lot in the next one. God bless.